I balance my mental and physical health is I take walks. I do yoga. When I'm in an area where I feel safe, I practice martial arts. I I was learning Tai Chi, Jeet Kune Do, boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing for a while, and I keep those systems within me. You know, sans corpus, sans mentis, sans animus. I have to I have to physically be active almost all the time. So a lot of times with if my brain's foggy, I go for a walk. You know, I pick a direction, I just go. Sometimes I grab my camera and I take pictures of what I see. I do a lot of street photography. But it's sometimes it's real hard because there are times, especially recently with some family issues that have come up. I Some of my anxiety attacks cause me to shut down completely, not just depersonalization, but physically. I can't move. My balance is completely off. Uh, how can I put this? I become physically inert, and that hurts. That's bad. Those are the panic attacks that can last for a day or two because I can't walk. You know, I can barely stand up. I mean, yesterday I came back where I'm staying, and the people I was with, they were looking at me like, "Oh, you're not doing anything. You cannot help us clean today. You cannot help with the move. You cannot help with the rearranging. You need to sit down, and this is what you're doing. You are going to be blacking out, you know, medication bottles, so whoever going through the garbage doesn't get the information." And I was stuck doing that all day long, and I could not get up. I could not move boxes. I couldn't clean. I couldn't do anything. Not just because I wasn't allowed to, but because I physically couldn't. And every time I tried, I got reminded very quickly that I wasn't supposed to do that. And that's disheartening, considering how kinetic of a person I am. So my mental and physical health are completely intertwined with me, at least. So I mean, some of the only times I feel absolutely right in the world are if I'm playing an instrument and I've finally gotten into the song, talking shit into a live mic, kind of like now, or when I am doing martial arts, when I'm weightlifting, when I'm doing yoga. These are the things that center me. These are the things that go to my core and say, this is right. This is what you should be doing. This is how we get through the day. This is how we are going to make ourselves a better person. So I do everything possible to get those down. Even at work, I try to do the most physical thing I could find because I think I just realized that I define myself through my work, which also may be one of the reasons why I'm a workaholic or a recovering workaholic. Is that it's the only time I feel right is when I am destroying myself, you know, either in the gym or throwing freight in a truck or moving boxes or cleaning or doing something. That's the only time I feel right, is when I'm doing physical activities. You know, even playing music for me is physical because I don't keep time just by, you know, tapping my foot or, you know, bobbing my head. I'm moving. You know, the music hits me and I go in with it. And there are times after a practice session if I'm on my bass and I'm going at it, especially if I have my headphones on with all of my gear blasting out, I'm dripping sweat by the time I'm done. And I feel like I've accomplished something. I feel right. I feel centered. I feel one with the fucking universe, however you want to put it. So, yeah, I think those things are completely linked, and I had to be careful because I will destroy myself. I will overwork myself. I will lift until injury. I will do yoga until my legs don't work anymore, or I'll put it above everything else. So I have to be careful too. Especially with all the many deaths that have happened in my life, affected my other relationships. It's affected every single one of them. Most of the deaths just happened randomly, and I wasn't around, so I had to hear about it after the fact. The one death that I was there for was my grandmother. And my grandmother and I had a very complicated relationship. And I'm going to leave it at that. But I was the one who discovered the body. And I had gotten off work. I went to go check on her, do a brief change, as as care providers do. I had asked my cousin who was there to help me because she is a CNA, and doing a bed check is easier with two people. And I walked in, and I knew instantly, and I told my cousin to stay in the living room. And when I walked in, rigor was starting to take, and there was blood on her shirt. She had thrown up. And I did the vitals, I did the checks. And then I had to come out and tell my uncle to make the phone call. And right now in the situation I'm in, I'm staying with friends. I'm helping a friend whose health has taken a severe nosedive. To the point where we have a realization that happened in the last few days that we either have a few years with him left or a few weeks, and it's kind of touch and go depending on what his body wants to do. And knowing his family history and how his father and his grandfather went is eerily similar to where he is right now. So every morning I would wake up and I'd come in and check on him, and I would just replay that scene with my grandmother in my head every fucking morning, without fail. I expect to walk in on someone or hearing about someone's death almost every day now, because I have gotten so many of them in the last 2 years. Last 3, honestly. That every phone call, every text message, every email, instant message, whatever you want to call it, carrier fucking pigeon, I expect it to be a death notice. I expect to walk into where I'm living and find my best friend dead. I expect to get a phone call that one of my other best friends was in a car accident, or an estranged person whom I still care about, something happened to them. This is what the grief has affected every aspect of my life. I say I still haven't cried for anyone yet, for various reasons. But I think part of that is I'm not ready yet. There's still more again. I want to get it all done and out right now. All 12 people that died, in rapid fire succession. There's room for more, right? Come on, bring it to me. Come on, let's go. Let's get this over with. Let's get all of it done so I can move on. I can't move on if you keep throwing it at me. These are the things that I think about. These are the things that are in my mind all day long. No matter what I'm doing, if I'm at work, if I'm making a fucking sandwich, if I'm sleeping, if I'm having a good time, if I'm laying in bed with a lover, these are the things going through my mind. It is ever constant. It is never going away. It will always be here. And I don't know if there's a way to get rid of that. I don't know if I want to get rid of it. But that's my truth right now. That's the truth I have to deal with. This is my life now. And this is how I'm finding a way to get around it and through it. I will never be the person I was before my mother died. The person's gone. Too much has happened for me to go back. Some days I wish I could. But this is my reality. And I gotta do something with it.